Resilience is a term we're hearing frequently these days, whether in reference to workplace struggles, family breakups, overcoming illness, job loss, death of a loved one, or another form of traumatic event. The noun, according to Merriam-Webster.com, is defined as 1. The capacity of a strained body to recover its size and shape after deformation caused especially by compressive stress, and 2. An ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Zooming in more closely, in short, the art of resilience has only 2 requirements: surrounding the ego to certain realities and developing consistency in our daily routines. What is ego? Well, ego, simply defined, is that part of us that recognizes that we are separate and unique from others. It is within our ego that we compare ourselves to others as being either better than, not as good as, or simply different than. There are a lot of people with natural athletic ability who absolutely love martial arts training while they were winning, to only later become disenchanted with training any further after getting smashed a couple of times. Some people say you either win in martial arts training or you learn. It's either we learn or we really learn. In jiu-jitsu, for instance, we can love losing. That is, getting swept or tapped out with a crazy move, like having someone cartwheel out of our attempted throw and hitting us with a sweet arm bar. Then the challenge becomes learning how to prevent this from happening again. Intentions matter. It is during this phase of a person's training where it might be crucial, if not completely necessary, to surrender the ego in order to learn, and ultimately to become a better person. We can surrender our ego by accepting the reality that we do not know everything about what we were learning and had little to no control over some outcomes in our life. Do not fall victim to creating a cognitive dissonance, in essence, refusing to believe something that contradicts an already held belief despite evidence presented to the contrary, with that old line, quote, "Had this been a real fight, that guy 4 inches shorter than me and 100 pounds lighter would have never been able to lock me down so soundly in a bad position." Deep down, you know the truth. Wouldn't winning all the time get boring and cushy anyways? In martial arts, the emphasis on character development is key, and indeed, I dare say the emphasis exists for most positive passions that involve any of life's pursuits. In the end, the type of people we become is far more important not only to our own survival, but to that of those around us. We are meant to change and expand with knowledge and love into care for our fellow man. The experiences shared here can be seen in the life of Daniel Arnold, a former U.S. Marine and a 30-year law enforcement veteran who has written several books and experienced a lifelong journey full of these situations, now a modern abolitionist and writer for The Liberator too. In his excerpt titled "The Puzzle," he states, quote, "When I was laid up in that hospital bed hallucinating on powerful pain meds, muscle relaxers, and steroids that had me nearly breathless, the prevailing thoughts that kept entering my mind were completely outside of my control. The repeating mantra seemed to affirm that only love and gratitude can drive out fear, anxiety, and hate. Self-defense is important, but fighting never seemed to enter the equation, and I can assure you I have had a violent life. As I considered the true meaning of self-defense, I realized that ideally we should develop a way of life where self-defense isn't necessary. Think about it. Who really wants to have to defend themselves, to always be on the defensive in case because someone might be coming to get them? Self-protection, on the other hand, just a slight word deviation, is something else altogether and encompasses much more. Protection is a basic human need we all desire, and it's created through the repetition of good habits in all areas of life. I've come to know that there can be no duality in this. Ultimately, martial arts are not about fighting to me anymore. Martial arts are about the puzzle that exists in my students, training partners, and teachers. The puzzle of bettering one's technique, the puzzle of victory not over others, but victory over oneself. End quote. Developing consistency in life requires us to be authentically ourselves. We cannot be or act one way for others, but think, act, or do things that conflicts with our desired self-image. Remember ego? This means embracing the development of good daily habits that will ultimately improve our health, confidence, and self-esteem. Habits such as exercise. Keep moving with 45 to 60 minutes of exercise a day, consisting of a combination of aerobic and strength-building exercises, activities like biking, speed walking, or jogging, resistance band, or body weight exercises 5 days a week would be a good start. Consult a health professional before starting any new exercise program. And what about sleep? Get the mandatory 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night with a consistent sleep-wake cycle. Listen to your body for your exact needs on all of this matter. Now, what about diet? Consult a nutritionist or research for yourself. What we eat, and just as importantly, when we eat, are vital to our overall health. Strive for a balanced or complete diet of complex carbohydrates, vegetables, healthy fats, and lean protein. You may even avoid sugar and caffeine at least 5 hours before bedtime. Developing good habits like these can create a natural resilience at your very core by eliminating the risk of developing unhealthy coping mechanisms and/or addictions. Now, this is an article written by Daniel Arnold himself. Of course, I talked about it. I shared quotes from him. He really breaks it down well, especially in his books, his own personal experiences to where he got to where he is, seeing the corruption in the world, seeing the root cause of the problems in the world. For instance, statism, which most people, especially in the field of law enforcement, will never look at. But if I ask you these questions that I put on the screen for you here, think about this for yourself. Doesn't matter if you're in law enforcement and government or whatever, really think about this for yourself, because all we're asking is for people to use their mind, their hearts, their body to own themselves. And owning yourself and proving you own yourself is exercising yourself, making yourself stronger every single day, making yourself a better version of yourself. And therefore, you become unstoppable. Not only are you healthy, but you are free in your mind, body, and spirit, however you want to look at it. This is true freedom, guys, and we can't just get there from just passing a law or getting some new politician in office. I mean, this is a real awakening, and it can happen with everyday people if we just share information like this. So feel free to get involved. You can send us your article. I'll turn to a video for you. This is the Liberator 2 News. Thank you very much for watching.